Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weisheit, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And we're always glad to bring you some updated information, especially when it comes from law enforcement and things that they're doing. And we're very, very glad to have with us once again Commander Lonnie Cavalier. Lonnie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Keith. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. We know there's a lot of things going on over in Assumption Parish. We appreciate all that y'all are doing, but we've got one case that we've kind of brought a little resolution to. Let's talk about this disturbance and domestic issue with Ms. Jermaine Payton.
Yeah, this was an incident back in December of 2023. Payton engaged in an argument with a female, and at some point began choking her. She walks out the house, comes back in, and he gets physical again with her. And then he shatters her cell phone and takes her automobile and heads out to New Orleans. Deputies issued arrest warrants based on evidence that they obtained, and he was recently arrested by the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office in New Orleans.
Okay.
And transferred to our facility on yesterday, and he remains jailed now.
Right. Very good. And so, again, those charges were unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, simple criminal damage to property, and battery of a dating partner, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Right. And so, again, if people want more information about that, they can always reach out to either Sheriff Leland Falcon or to yourself, the public information officer at 985-498-9353 or 985-369-7281. And so if people have questions about any of these cases, they can do that. But we've got several others I know that we've been dealing with. Can we talk a little bit about the one with Miss Sharifa Watkins, age 34, from the Napoleonville?
Yeah, she was involved with an individual in the she's actually from Wanda Road in Thibodeau, and she was involved with an individual in Assumption Parish in the area of Evergreen Street in Labradorville.
Okay.
And she's charged with felony stalking amongst other charges. In that case, she basically went into dropping threatening notes in the family of her estranged boyfriend's mailboxes, made threatening calls to them. A lot of this, she actually went to the home that was captured on video surveillance of the home. And then sometime later, related to the same incident, she ends up going after another family member at a residence off of Highway 400 in Napoleonville, and she pulled a knife on people there, and basically same situation. Now deputies go out there, they conduct their investigation and find that there is probable cause to arrest her, and they file arrest warrants charging her with stalking, felony stalking, criminal trespass, and aggravated assault. And she is presently in our facility without bond.
Okay. And again, it's important to kind of specify there is stalking that is a misdemeanor. It's all about the severity of that stalking, correct? Where there's felony stalking versus that.
That is correct.
And so we can see that this took place over time, and it seems like it's escalated some with two different family members.
Yeah, it's been going on, and
right.
And finally we were able to put a stop to it, and hopefully it resolves it. And now she's facing charges and court appearances and so on and so forth. So, we're hoping we nip this one in the bud.
Absolutely. And, you got to get enough information. People sometimes don't realize we got to make sure that your investigative teams can get enough information to justify getting that warrant to make sure that we go out and get that person into custody, and then we can go ahead and file those charges. And again, she's being held.
Yes, and we these are things that can't wait. These are cases that must be tended to now, as we get them, and we are very aggressive in handling the domestic cases, and because there's a lot more that go into them now than what used to happen 20 years ago.
Sure. And finally, let's talk, Commander, if you don't mind, about the domestic incident that took place in Belrose.
That was actually on yesterday morning.
Right.
Tariq Kenneth Lewis, boyfriend, girlfriend type deal, and he attacks her, and then she leaves the house. She gets in her car. He shatters the back window, and at some point during the confrontation, he pointed a firearm at her, and after meeting with deputies, did meet her at a different location, and they were able to arrest him, to locate him, and they did observe, severe cuts and bruises to his hands and arms, forearms, and evident that he had passed his hands through a glass. Based upon all of those facts, he was arrested and he was booked into our facility on yesterday morning. Domestic abuse, battery, aggravated assault with a firearm, which is a felony, and simple criminal damage to property. And this is totally a domestic case as well.
Right. And again, he's being held incarcerated with his bond set at $85,000. And so hopefully we see the end of these kind of rashes of the stalking and these domestic violence cases, this domestic abuse that we're seeing. But we're really glad that you guys are so efficient in going and gathering the data, getting people off the streets and quite frankly, arrested for those things. And so, Commander Lana, we appreciate your time very, very much in the closure of some of these cases.
Good. Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment. Don't go anywhere. A whole lot more Bayou time when we continue.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.